All right, let's play a little Carolina Panthers trivia. Tell me what person has interviewed the most Carolina Panther players one-on-one that doesn't work for the organization? Yeah, it's me. I'm Chris Jenkins. I'm with Charlotte Vibe, and I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where each and every week I interview players one-on-one. And the cool thing about it is I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. Hey, I see a welcome back message. So I appreciate it. Welcome back. Welcome to a show. But this is Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. And today is August 23rd. Only one more day before the Panthers have to make some roster cuts further than they made today. But I want to say this before I get started. Nickname Man of the People because I work for the fans. If you're watching this, I work for you. If you have a question for a coach, a player, for me, I want to be your number one source that you go to get that information, and I can talk to these players. So please, if you got a question, leave a comment now. If you're watching the rebroadcast, leave a comment, send me a direct message, whatever I can do to help you guys out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today, August 21st, let me give some shout outs because I see some people signing on. You guys are getting used to me being back here. So, Allie Broderick, B. Evans, and Taylor Styles. Yes, thank you all for joining in. And again, we got more shows that I'm going to be doing this year. Pretty sure I have the name of it. Don't want to say it yet because I might, switch it around. But what's going to happen for everybody is once a week, the day after a game, I want to say Mondays, but if they have a Thursday game, it's going to be on a Friday, etc. I'm going to have an hour-long show where it's just dedicated to answering questions about the team or rules or whatever you have on your mind. So keep that in mind. Check your calendars or mark your calendars. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification. So let me go ahead and get into what we have today. So we have some roster cuts today. The Carolina Panthers have to get down to 80. I think it's kind of dumb. They had to cut 5 people last week, 5 people this week. I really liked it where they went to 2 years ago, just cut everybody at one time because I think these little nickels are just not worth that much time. But they made 3 cuts in preparation for that. So here you're going to see it on the screen and you're going to see me looking. Krishawn Hogan, wide receiver, was cut today or waived today. Markel Harrell, defensive end, was waived today. And then Walter Palmore, he was also waived today. So we have a few more that we have to get off that list, 2 more to be exact, to take us down to 80. So as soon as that happens, I'll go online and bring that information to you all. Will Joey Sly be one of those people? Will they bring in some competition for Joey Sly? So on Twitter earlier today, somebody asked me if there's any updates, and I said I don't think there's going to be. I could always be wrong, but I don't think there's going to be, because I think it's going to be better for them to wait until after some teams have made some, trim their roster to get down to 53, so you can get somebody that's substantial. Otherwise, you're trying to get some guy that's, from another league or something else, and it's probably not worth too much of your time right now because you already put Joey Sly on pretty good notice Sunday after the game with the coach's comment. So Coach today, when asked about that, said he's not going to comment on that. Really didn't want to comment on too much other personnel decisions because he said it's going to be so much that happens between now and then, and they haven't really gotten into that. Now, I think probably they have, but he still wants to see true effort from everybody until they get through tomorrow's practice and make those cuts. A few updates on some player statuses for everybody. Tommy Tremble wasn't at practice today. He had a personal day and a few other things that I was able to gather and report to you guys. Hey, the countdown is on. Saturday, I will finally be able to be back on the field and in the stadium. So if you don't follow me on social media, the links are in the description. Please do so because you know me, I love to post lots of videos and other things behind the scenes and covering the team and seeing the team to give you all that extra glimpse. Excuse me. Trenton Cannon, Keith Kirkwood, and Rodney Smith all were not practicing today. Hassan Reddick was one of those people, but they considered that a vet day for him. The others are more just injury related. And then Kenny Robinson, who was injured this past Sunday. Good news about him is initially they felt like it could be something severe, but today the coach reported that he expects it to be something that is just 1 to 2 weeks. So that's good news to hear about Kenny Robinson. Also, a lot of people are finally looking forward to seeing a lot of the ones play more than just one series. So you will get that hope answered for you this Friday when we take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you will not get to see much of Christian McCaffrey, if you get to see him at all. But you will get to see, hopefully, coach didn't want to commit to it, hopefully, 1 quarter of Sam Darnold, maybe 2 quarters. I'm assuming that depends on how he gets hit, what that's looking like, and how tomorrow's practice goes. But so you could definitely expect that a lot of the ones were going to play throughout that first half. That's his preference anyway. So that's the report that I have for you today, as the Carolina Panthers have just one more day remaining before they have to cut the roster down to 80. I see one more comment here. I know this isn't important, but I've been dying for a uniform update. Heard any possible? No, I haven't heard anything about a uniform update, but the uniform schedule was released. So they're going to be wearing blues, white, and blacks this year. I forget the exact schedule off the top of my head, but that information is out there for you, Taylor. And then Sly really needs competition. I personally don't trust him with the game on the line. Yeah, I really feel like they're going to find a way to get some competition out there with Joey Sly. He's one of those tough situations where he has that rare, really, really strong leg, but he seems a little bit more accurate than, he's not, I don't know how I want to say this. He's not a long-legged kicker that has absolutely no control, which you see a lot of. He actually does have some good control over his accuracy, but it's still not as consistent as you would like to see at the NFL level. So that's a very big ... to be continued on that one. And then another comment from Taylor: CMC is one of those guys you don't need to see in preseason. You know what he can do. And yeah, quarterbacks can fall into that category. A lot of veterans can fall into that category. But the thing you want to do with any of your players is get them into some kind of rhythm. You don't want them to have the first hit that jars their helmet be in the regular season. So what has been helpful for Christian McCaffrey not being out there on these preseason games is that they've had 2 weeks of practices with other teams, being the Colts and then being the Ravens, in which the ones got a lot of repetition, and Christian McCaffrey did get hit and had some physical moments. I think actually one of the melees was because he had gotten hit or thrown down after a play. So that has kind of substituted for players like Christian even getting a series in the exhibition / preseason game. But, I think one thing that the NFL needs to think about with the rise of joint practices is how you're diminishing the fan experience on a preseason game. It already become something that was a little suspect, and a lot of fans don't want to pay full price to go and see. And I think if you see the rise of these preseason joint practices, then you're going to even water that down even more. And, it's still an entertainment sport. The fans still make this all possible. So I think you got to find a happy medium between the joint practices, which are nice and controlled, and also giving the fans that are paying full ticket price something to see during the preseason. So that will conclude the broadcast for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, man of the people, any questions that you have, rules, players, coaches, whatever, I am your guy. Please leave the comments, send me a direct message, however you can get in touch with me. Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe.